Shalom, Kahalal, Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Akakadash, double honors to the elder apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yashawan, and I have a question. How much is a Snuffleupagas film worth? We all know what a Snuffleupagas film is, right? That's what we're going to call it. All right. If we take this part off, right? If we take off, let's start with the word snuffle, right? What's the root of the word snuffle? That. Okay. So when you're dealing with a Snuffleupagas film, right? How much is one of those worth? Right? If they filmed the Tate LaBianca murders or rituals, how much are those Snuffleupagas films worth that they trade on the dark web and all of that, right? So what an ICE agent does is he's like this, nigga, how can I just fucking get, well, I can make me a Snuffleupagas film and sell it to the highest bidder. Isn't that what he did? Now, I'm not saying that he sold it to the highest bidder, but he did make a Snuffleupagas film, did he not? Let's find out. ICE agent filmed himself making a Snuffleupagas film. See, this is what nobody's putting together. This dispels everything about, oh, well, he tried to run her over and did it. No, he went and knew exactly what he was doing. He was filming. Then he pulled out his gun, and then he shot her. He knew, he had to know he was doing all of those things. He knew exactly what he was doing. Okay. It's not just he shot her, it's why he shot her. He got it on film. Okay. Now, whatever they show us, right, they ain't going to show us the part when he actually, when the bullets make contact. But if, okay, if he has that on film, right, he could sell that to the highest bidder. And this is what they do. See, I'm not, speculating. I'm saying that Snuffleupagas films are big, big, big money. Just like freak-off films, right? They're bought and traded, right? Oprah has a big collection of freak-off films because people control other people, You can control people and organizations or whatever. But these are the types of things that go on at the top. And this is why I have this queued up. Just watch this, Richie from Boston. This came out. Now I was watching it and it's a little over an hour. Yeah. And it's just the wickedness at the highest level, right? So when you're dealing with Crowley, Parsons, golems, witchcraft at that level, guess what they're dealing with? They're dealing with Snuffleupagas films, which is big money in those circles. So this guy, not saying that that's what he was doing, but what he did get, here's what I'm saying. There's a world, there's an underworld dealing with big money, okay, that would pay big money to get their hands on if he got that actual footage, which He started filming way back. He knew what he was going to do. He was going to make a Snuffleupagas film. Why was he filming? Okay. How do you film and do your job at the thing? Shouldn't you have on a body cam? That's what that. You shouldn't have your phone out filming while you're doing your job. That's like sitting at a stop sign while you're driving and playing on your phone while you're shooting somebody. There's no handbook. There's nothing. See, that right there nullifies everything. The fact that he was filming. That changes everything up. Oh, well, he's got full immunity to make a Snuffleupagas film while doing his job. See, there's something else going on here. Where is this film? Where is it at in its entirety? You know that whatever, if they're going to post any of this, any truth about it, right? They're gonna cut that part out, right? And then you got AI, and then you got deep fakes, and you got all manner of things, right? And let me say this about the Snuffleupagas film. That makes it real, doesn't it? The fact that he's filming is so unprofessional that if they were trying to create a fake, they wouldn't put that in there. Oh, the nigga was filmed. Now, that makes it real, doesn't it? I'm just saying, keeping it truthful. You understand? Because that's how we're looking at this. We have to authenticate. Let me get a scripture. Salakia. Because this is all speculation, fair use. Okay, I'm speculating, but I'm also, I'm also doing what we do, which is to filter everything through the scriptures. Okay, so this is Sirach 5 first, and we'll go to 15 and explain what we're doing. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So is this a Snuffleupagas film? First, you got to understand the Snuffleupagas films, right? I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go search it and all of that. You got to go do that, okay? But you got to understand that in the satanic world of decadence, all right, that stuff, right, is a thing, right? So what you're seeing here is exactly that. Whether he was trying to do that or not, there are people contacting him saying, what exactly is on that tape? Right? Going back to this, the witchcraft that's involved. See? He might not even know what he has, right? Everybody needs to go watch this, Richie from Boston, okay? Everybody needs to go watch this because it's just, he's getting into why the devil is doing what he's doing and how he's cavorting with familiar spirits at the very top through CERN, and where they're getting the information for the technology and things of that sort, how they're doing their left-handed, just their left-handed relationship with the spiritual demon Satan, how they get their Lucifer, if you will. So, let me see. There's just so much, right? He goes into this witch, right? Let's watch this little part.
In a language they never heard, and she was speaking very, very fluently. She brought her own candles. She brought her own ritual things. And there was an air of absolute confidence that unnerved the guys because it seemed dangerous now, all of a sudden. This old woman was scaring these dudes. But here's the deal. It worked. Her breathing became labored. Her posture straightened and her voice took on different cadences. The temperature in the room dropped noticeably, and later reports would document a 15-degree change. The building's climate control couldn't explain it. And then something else began speaking through her, and it wasn't speaking English at first. The entity called itself Kazu Lakam. It communicated in what sounded like multiple languages simultaneously, Legion, creating harmonics that shouldn't have been possible from a single human. Yeah, F around and find out. And that's exactly what they did. When it finally spoke in English, its message was delivered with a mockery that scared everybody in the room. Earth is a farm, it said. You are cattle. Or goyim. You ever heard that before? Your souls are our harvest. The entity claiming to speak through Leak wasn't interested in the usual seance pleasantries. It immediately demonstrated knowledge of classified operations, naming participants by their real names despite the fact that Leak had been only given cover identities. So she didn't even know names. So how was this thing she was channeling knowing the names? Because they were messing around and it was really working. It referenced certain UFO incidents that remained buried that no one should have known about. It described details that hadn't appeared in any public reports, and most disturbingly, it seemed genuinely amused by their presence, meaning this spirit just thought these guys were a bunch of jerk-offs, which they were. They're just humans. They're just humans that are literally messing around with things that God specifically told us not to mess with, and they're doing it for military or personal gain, all at the risk of losing their souls.
Let's stop it right there. But anyway, this, and Richie doesn't quite know what he's saying. He's an Israelite, and he's got knowledge. He's got the zeal, but not according to knowledge. Okay, and he's being used for whatever he's being used for. But right, and from time to time, we all, refer to Richie, right? Starting with the elder apostle Tahar. But the point I'm making, right, is a Snuffleupagas film, right? Going back to this guy. Where'd he go? All right. That is bought and traded on the dark web, and it's about big money. All right. Bitcoin money to keep it secret and all of that. You understand? So, what do we have here? Just this. Let's look at a little bit of this. Okay, you got to look a little deeper.
Boss.
And consider. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I'm saying that there are people that are inquiring. What's on that film? Did you capture whatever? Right? Because to them, to people like this, okay, that is valuable.
Cell phone. The 48-second video was obtained by Alpha News and released Friday. What it shows is devastating. Ross is holding his phone in one hand while shooting with the other. He's filming as he approaches Good's vehicle.
Why is he knows. Why is he using his phone? Shouldn't he have a body cam? Okay. If he has a gun in one hand or whatever, he's got his phone in one hand, whatever his other hand is doing, which eventually turns out to be shooting her. Okay, well, the phone pops up out of his hand, right? This is what they're going to say. Well, the phone fell out of his hand while he was filming. I believe I heard that. They're going to try to use that. Okay, what did the phone catch? Okay, did it pop out of his hand? This guy went to film. He knew he was going to shoot her. Okay, he knew he was going to shoot her. Because all of that happened too quick for him to get off 4 shots. And in that amount of time, he had to he had to at least have known that he might have had to shoot her. Okay, understand what I just said. He, at the very least, okay, to get off that many shots in that fraction of a moment, he had to at least know that he might have had to shoot her. Now, at what time did he think that he might have had to? At what point? Okay, because he was already drawing his weapon while he was filming. See, all of that put together doesn't make any sense. Because if you weren't filming, you could have easily got out of the way. But you were filming and you were in the way. And all these things, see, the perfect conditions happened at that moment for you to shoot. That could only happen if you were anticipating being run over. Okay. The only way that that could have happened, the way that they're saying, is if he was anticipating her running him over. He already knew that that's what she was going to do. And you see none of that in any video. You don't see that her intention was ever to run him over. Okay? So he knew that he was filming. He knew that he put himself in harm's way so that he could shoot her. He knew that he wasn't in any real danger. All of that is on his awareness of where he was, and especially as they're saying, as the other side is trying to iterate all the time that he was drugged, a week or so before, or however long it was. He should have had his ass well out of the way if he was concerned with getting hit or whatever. No, he was playing chicken to the point where he had his phone out. What he was doing, he was looking for that payday. Okay? He's there to shoot somebody. And he was there to get it on film. Okay? It's pretty clear if you understand the dynamics of what you're seeing and pulling guard or whatever, being in that situation with a gun over somebody. That dude didn't hesitate to shoot her, right? For whatever he thought. Okay? For him to have that phone out and be filming, he was already on some other shit right there. Okay? What was his intent? Why did he have the phone out? That's not part of his training in any way. If it is, then there's a problem all the way up the chain. But how do you explain away the fact that this guy had his phone out and he was filming? Okay? That right there is a smoking gun. ICE agent filmed himself. What does this say? That says Snuffleupagas film. To anybody with, see, and I hate to say criminal-minded, but you got to know about these things. And if you know about Snuffleupagas films, you're looking at that and saying, oh, but that's what that is. Easy. But to somebody who doesn't know what one is, they don't see that. That right there. Go back here, start here, watch this, and understand what's going on from the top. Right? And then go study real quick. Just type it. Go to Wikipedia. They'll give you some information on Snuffleupagas films. Right? I'm sure that you can find some YouTube and see how they're trading and what kind of big money they are and all of it. But when you see this, what does this say? Somebody's getting paid. If that's what it is. And then there are other cameras rolling that might have got that. Right? There's body cams. What about that body cam footage? Where's that going? What is that? Who gets the body cam footage of a lot of these? what they call murders and stuff like that. What do those turn into? You thinking about things like that? Is the police department involved in Snuffleupagas films? You think maybe? Body cam footage. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. 2 core 2. Gonna keep coming out. And that's the Spirit of the Lord is like something else is going on there. So speak on that real quick. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, in order that Satan should not outwit us, for we are not unaware of his scheme. We know what these things mean. This means something to someone with eyes that can see or ears. ICE agent filmed himself killing her. What does that sound like? That sounds like this. Okay, well, we'll see what comes of it. All right. Let's get this one more time, too. Just a hunch. And they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. So you got to know the whole Brady Bunch song and be not so lucky. I'm clowning. I'm sorry. Let me get serious. So lucky. Ecclesiastes 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small, even if it's dealing with Sesame Street characters, because sometimes we got to disguise what we're really trying to say. With that, we hope that the elect edified you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.